Like of 30, 50 cents. Stationary biscuit for
Shall I start the section, ma'am? Mitra, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. We can start.
Okay, ma'am. Good morning to everyone. A warm welcome to all participants to the online workshop on research paper writing and publishing in Scopus SCI indexed journal using AI tools. This program is organized by the National Institute for Research and Development, India NIRDI, in association with LKP Academy. It is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker, Dr. Mithra Ma'am, Assistant Professor at SRM Institute of Science and Technology, who will guide us through today's session. Without further delay, I now invite Dr. Mithra Ma'am to begin the session. Welcome, Ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for the nice introduction.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yeah, yes, Ma'am, visible, Ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning, all. This is Dr. Mithra, as ma'am gave me introduction. I'm working as an assistant professor in SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Katambulatur. So, in today's session, we are going to see about how to master the art of writing and publishing in Scopus and essay indexed journals. So let's we have an interactive sessions with audience too. So if you have doubt, you can ask me. So the main agenda of today's session is workshop is about we are going to discuss what the research entails and an overview of major research paper types, like what are the original articles, what is review article and case study articles. Followed by we are going to explain the importance of databases, like what is the SCI database and what is Scopus database, and we are going to even more coverage, the explain you how what is the difference between the coverage, what is the significant, what is the impact first, and let me emphasize why we need the value of indexed publications, and going to explain you some research metrics as well, like what is H index, what is impact factor, citations, and then we are going to focus more on the anatomy of research paper writing, that is the structure, and followed by how what are all the checklist first of all needed for publishing a article, and how to avoid plagiarism, and what are all the steps that we have to follow to avoid the common pitfalls during the reserve publishing phase, and we are going to see how to search a journal according to our content. So these are all the things that we are going to discuss for today's session. First of all, a research. So, according to us, many of the people may be aware of these terms, but they don't know the intended content behind the research. First of all, we need to segregate that research into two, that is, re and search. From the word itself, we can understand again and again we are going to find out a new things based on finding out a new things or understanding the things better. Can be by asking questions, or that we can analyzing the results, looking for answers. So let us assume researcher is like being detective. So what does the detective do? He will try to solve the mystery by gathering the available clues. So based on that, we are going to follow how the research works. So as we have given, this research is a systematic process. Yeah, we need to visit the problem again and again in a different perspective. So, according to me, the famous quote given by Albert Centers, see, research is seeing what everyone else has seen, but thinking what no one else has thought. So, in this way, the research has to be. Always, it should not be the critical thinking plays a major role in research. So, let me move on to the next slide. Okay. The next thing is about database. So, what is database? Database is nothing but it is referred to as an organized collection of academic resources, as well as it contains journals, articles, and other scholarly content that should be useful for researchers. So that is called as database. So many of people may not be aware of even what is Scopus indexed and what is Web of Science indexed. So let me tell you, there are variety of database available in the industry, academic industry. But why this Scopus and Web of Science plays a crucial role? Why they are insisting every academicians to put Scopus and Web of Science? That I'll be explaining. So let me tell you in which field which database should be used. For example, there are multidisciplinary database available. Let us tell you. PubMed and Medline. So PubMed and Medline is like it is also a database which is mainly focused on biomedical literature. For example, gene interaction. So when a researcher used to find the paper in that area or wanted to do research in that area, they have to go for PubMed or Medline database. And next comes the Scopus. Scopus is like a wide range of disciplines covered by the team. That is, it includes science, technology, medicine, social science, and arts. And similarly, like Web of Science. So, in the Web of Science, the more emphasis will be given on science, social science, arts, humanity. And Google Scholar, as we all know, it is a free available database, and it provides wide range of scholarly collection articles. So there also you can take and fetch the paper. And next is Springer link. So then the Springer, it mainly focuses on conferences, books, book chapters, journals, all these things will be mainly focused on Springer. And next database that we are going to see is Taylor and Francis, which is one of the topmost, one of the reputed database, which also covers science, technology, engineering, and social science. And Willy, another one. It is like a multidisciplinary database for journals, books, for all the necessities. So why I have showcased all these things? There are many reputed database available, but here we are going to focus on Scopus and Web of Science. First of all, we should know what is the comparison between SCI and Scopus, without which we cannot write the efficient article. We won't be able to. So first of all, it is good. First of all, I'll tell you the difference. SCI is nothing but Science Citation Index Database and Scopus. First of all, the publisher of the SCI is Clarivate Analytics, and the Scopus is Elsevier. And the coverage for the SCI is mainly high impact journals, that is natural sciences and engineering. Whereas in Scopus, the broad multidisciplinary coverage areas, like as I have mentioned, the Scopus is like vast database. So it holds science, engineering, social science, and humanities as well. And when it comes to the journal, it only accepts 9,000 journal, and whereas Scopus approximately accepts 25,000 per year. So which means the scrutiny, that is the very high quality paper only will be accepted by Science Web of Science, that is essay indexed journals. That is majorly we can say Q1 and Q2 journal. Let me explain what is Q1 and Q2. As of now, I'll explain you in the future slides. And type of content, what type of content it holds in SCNA: journals and very limited conference proceedings. And whereas in Scopus, even the patents, book chapters, conference proceeding, journals, every kind of every type of article can be accepted. And in the SCI, we have the citation metrics, as it will be evaluated. The journal is evaluated based on impact factor, journal impact factor. Whereas in Scopus, we will be having site score, SJR. These things will be discussed and showcased in future coming slides. And in the accessibility, when you see, both are subscription based. And when it sees to geographical reach, it mainly focus on North America and global. The global visibility can be seen in SCI when compared to the Scopus. And what is archival data depth? Archival data depth is nothing but, see, the extent of historical data available in the database or platform. It is like how far the database stores the information and provides the records of publication or citation or any other. The time span, we can say how long the data has been stored from, for example, 1960. From 1960, the data has been stored. So that is what. So here some journals date back to early 1900, and here the Scopus data, it starts from 1970 onwards. So according to the ease of use is nothing but how the tools. The tools when we use in Web of Science is little complex and feature rich, which is advanced feature and may not be suitable for all the users. So that is what the ease of use, that is advanced tools and technologies. And in Scopus it is very very user friendly with advanced analytics, like what is the author's graph, what is the first author or last author, all these things will be denoted there. And next one regarding the strength, it is like high impact selective journals only will be taken here. Comprehensive coverage, that is interdisciplinary research paper has also been evaluated. So these are mainly suited for high impact research, whereas it is here many review paper will also be accepted. All these things are the main. So based on this, as of now, I hope you get the clarity of what is SCA and what is Scopus coverage. Now let me focus on the impact of indexed publication. So what is the impact of, why does this much importance is given to SCI and Web of Science indexed journal? First of all, I'll tell you in which places it is getting more importance. First of all, when you see about the quality of research in academic position, quality of research. So when you publish an article in SCI or high quality indexed, the reputation get that the quality of the research get automatically increased, because indexed publication always indicate it is a high quality impactful research, and it is mainly useful for faculty hiring, promotion, and tenure. Whereas prestige and recognition is nothing but publication in actually in high impact journals actually boost a researcher's reputation, and the visibility will be also more. When it see about evaluation criteria, see, as of now, all the academic institution based on the indexed publications more heavily in tenure and in the promotions, and in that way the academic positions also, the impact also getting higher. And next about faculty tenure, actually when you have a strong record of indexed publication, which is very much essential nowadays for securing and maintaining the proper tenure in the prestigious institutions. So that is what the impact on academic position dealt with. So what is where is it affecting the funding opportunities? Always remember, it is easy to get funding rather than maintaining that funding. That is renewal. Let me tell you, what is the eligibility of applying for grant? So actually funding agencies nowadays prioritize researchers with actually strong set of academic record of indexed publication when awarding grants, all these things. They are checking whether you have a quality, high indexed quality reputation papers are available or not. Next, when it comes to proposal evaluation, what is the proposal? When you see about indexed publication in top journals like scientific reports, all these things, a future of machine learning, all these journals, enhance the competitiveness of research proposals actually, and grant renewal, see, which is very much important. See, continued publication in indexed journals is often one of the requirement for the renewal of grant. So you should have continuous, it's not like because when you want to get grant, you can showcase few previous year indexed records and you can get the grant. But for renewal, they will check what is the continuous progress of your work in the research. That will be the continued success with the research indexed publication will be taken into account. Next one, to attracting the collaborators. Yeah, that is nothing but indexed publication actually increase the likelihood of attracting collaborators, as well as the joint funding opportunities from any other colleges, any other universities. So for all these things, high quality indexed paper is must. Okay, so this is why we are going for SCI or Scopus indexed journals. Next, followed by, we have a research metrics. So impact factor. So these are all the key terms as a researcher we should be aware of actually. What is impact factor? So impact factor is nothing but how many number of times on an average in a journal are cited by a researchers over a stipulated period of time. For example, let us have scientific report journal that has an impact factor of 5. So what is it trying to convey us? On an average, the published articles in scientific reports for the last 2 years. So how much citation has been done in the past 2 years? For example, 2024 to 2026, how many journals has been cited by that for all the articles in that particular journal? So this is what the impact factor means. Next one, the key term is H index. What does that H index actually mean? Let us, before going to the definition, let me give you an example. See, imagine you have a shelf full of books and each book has a number on it. Let us show how many people have read it. So on that basis, let me tell you an example. So if we have 3 books, and at least that 3 books should be read by each people, that is each 3 people need to read each all the 3 books. So then only we can say the H index is 3. Let us assume another scenario. If you have 5 books and only 4 people are reading the 5th book, all the 5 people are reading up to first book, second book, third book, and fourth book. All 5 people have read it. But the 5th book alone is read by only 4 people. On that note, we will say the H index is 4 because how many? It is like a ratio. How many researchers has read how many citations? So it is proportional to citation, and the paper count is proportional. So that is what the H index refers. That is, here it combines both productivity and number of citation of the research, based on which H index will be calculated. Citation, which is a common term, how many number of times that is the number of times the other researcher cited our paper in their article, in their paper. Okay, that is what the research citation refers to. So these are all the common citation research metrics that we used to do. Okay, these are all the things that is essential, and as a researchers we should be aware of. And why? Because it is always good to know why we need all these things without generally jumping into the center part. It is very much important as a researcher. So that is why I have given you. Now we will be jumping into the cake of the workshop now. First, overview of the major research paper types. We have 4 major research paper types that we are going to discuss today: original research, review paper, case study based, and methodology paper. So let me tell you, what is original research paper? In original research paper, first of all, the novelty has to be there. What is novelty? Unique insights. What you have given, what you have discovered, that or what kind of innovative approaches that you have gone through. Second thing is about methodology. How clearly you're describing the research methods. For example, what is the data collection? What is the analysis? Because, for example, you might have collected the data real time. That needs to be, that is one kind of novelty that you have collected it. So in that way, your paper has to be, and the result has to be provided in a very clear and concise manner that can be either visualized in the form of table, or any other statistical report has to be submitted or attached to the paper. So this is how the original research paper should be, followed by we have a research paper in addition. So what is the purpose of the research review paper? The purpose of the review paper is to summarize the existing work, like what is the previous researchers have done it. So the basic, when you are involved into the research, the first paper that you need to write is review paper. So because without knowing the research gap prevailed in the paper, it is very hard for you to tell, it is hard for you to identify the key trends, and highlighting the gaps and knowledge is also one of the purpose of writing the review paper. And for writing the review paper, the structure has to be like an organized thematic sections, and it has to provide a critical analysis of the previous people work. And a major impact is about, we need to guide the future research directions by identifying areas that is for future exploration. You can give future ideas where you can prolong the research, all these things. Next thing is like case study. Case study is nothing but we are going to demonstrate practical implications of the theoretical statements. So for example, if the theoretical statement is proved, we need to give a proper justification through a practical real-time example analysis. So how we can solve, illustrating how theories and methods can be applied to the real world problem, and based on which we can provide the actionable, and we can provide the proper recommendations. So next one is like a methodology paper. Methodology paper is nothing but what kind of new novel algorithm that you have implemented. So all these things, the main focus is on new development, new development. For example, in the original article, the novelty can be anything. It can be the performance increase, anything can be considered as original article. Whereas methodology paper is nothing, but the proposed methodology section should be highly novel. It has to be like you have to invent something. That kind of paper is called as methodology paper. That kind of methodology paper will surely improve the research quality and reliability. Okay, the performance metric. So before which I would like to showcase a demo on Scopus, which I failed to do it. Let me showcase. Have you able to see these Scopus indexed paper right now? From audience and anyone can tell, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yeah, thank you. So let me go into the Scopus website, and I have chosen one a journal named Foundations and Trends in Machine Learning. So what is it doing now? First of all, we have three columns over there. How come you? First, you need to analyze whether the particular journal is good or not. First step is that. First of all, you need to go into the Scopus website, log in, go for the login. I have logged in already. So I have chosen one sample journals just for the reference. So here in the right side pane, you have three things to be noted. One is site score, SJR, and SNP ranking. So what is that SNP score refers to? SNP is nothing but source normalized impact per paper. So what does it do is, if the SNP score is equal to 1, then we can say the journal citation performance is average. When it is less than 1, we can say the journal's citation performance is worst. When it is greater than 1, we can say it is better. Actually, journal citation performance is better when compared to other journal. When it is greater than 1.5, then we can say it is a good. So according to our project, according to the our research journal that we have chosen for foundations and trends in machine learning, it has 41, which is very much highly impactful, highly only top 1% people will do it. So before that, I said I'm going to explain you about what is Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 journal. So Q represent here is quartile. So what does that quartile represent now? Only top 25 percentage of the people will publish the journals in Q1 articles. And next Q2 refers to 25 to 50. So 25 to 50 percentage of the people will able to publish the reputed article in the reputed journal. Next one, 50 to 75 is considered as Q3, and 75 to 100% people will publish in Q4. This is what the standard relies. So according to our scenario, we need to publish, our aim has to be need to be published in Q1 and Q2. That is what the very high impactful journal relies on. Okay. So these are all the metrics. And next one, SJR. SJR is nothing but SciMango journal ranking. So I will give you the example of what is SciMango journal ranking. First of all, what it will consider. This SciMango journal ranking will be mainly focused on what is the number of citation received by the journal and what is the prestige maintained by the journal. Two things will be considered for SJR, that is SciMango journal ranking. Based on the citation and reputation of the journal, this score will be calculated. Okay, how much citation for a particular paper has been arrived. So how many journals has been published in the stipulated period of time. So based on this, the marks will be, the SJS score will be given, awarded. So greater the number, the greater the score. Okay. And the site score is nothing but how much people have visited. So this is common. So based on which we will be calculating all these things. Okay. This is general an approach. So here, this is called as SCI SciMango journal ranking. So I'll tell you this later. Okay. During the slides, I'll tell you. Hope still it is clear for you, or anything else to describe in detail. Still now, are you clear with it?
Yes, ma'am, it is very clear.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let me continue with the today's best part. Okay, next one, anatomy of research paper. So what is that anatomy of research paper? So in mathematics, we have formula. to be followed to calculate the numbers based on the numbers. Similarly, in research paper, we have certain stereotype to be followed. We should not follow the cases headings accordingly. So that is why always a research paper should start with the title, followed by abstract, followed by keywords, introduction, literature review, methodology, results and discussion, conclusion, and reference. Got it? So these are the workflow that needs to be only in this order the paper article should be. Next. Next one, this is very much important. As a researcher, you have to understand IMRDC diagram very much. So let me tell you the acronym. I stands for introduction, M stands for materials and methods, R stands for results, and D stands for discussion, and C stands for conclusion. So what is the tarot deals with? I'll tell you. So this diagram is called as interconnectedness diagram. So have you, if you've been a researcher, you would have listened to these terms like your paper is not in a good flow. What does that mean? Why they are saying the paper is not in the good flow? When you follow this IMRDC rule, your paper will get into a proper flow. I'll tell you why. See, always your introduction and conclusion should be interconnected with one another. So then when your introduction, what are all the points that you have covered in the introduction should somehow be matched with your, that you have to write in that flow. That similar points alone have to be included in the conclusion. You should not add or delete any other point or any other kind of extra things towards it, except the future directions in the conclusion. You should not add the accuracy score here, or any adding any new algorithms should not be done in the conclusion. So always it should be like introduction and conclusion should be interconnected with one another. And next one, materials and methods and results and discussion should be interconnected. So in that way only your paper has to be there. If it follows that way, then we can say your your paper is in full form. Your paper is having a good structure and good flow. Next, moving on to the topic section. First of all, choosing a topic is the first step. Choosing the title is very much important in attracting the researchers. So on that note, we will tell you how to choose a title first of all for the paper. Before keeping the title, it is very much important that you need to identify your research article or research area of interest. So that is why you need to have a proper collaboration or word with your guide, or you have to explore. Because how come you know whether you like biomedical field or any kind of agriculture or any kind of image or medical? So you have to explore. You need to read a few articles in all the domains, and then you need to come to the conclusion. Because you should not go like my friend is going in this path. She said by doing this domain we can finish the PhD easily. No, that might be helpful for her and not for you. So you need to identify and you need to be very curious to explore that. So that is based on the area. First of all, you need to choose the area of interest. Next, a preliminary research. As I have mentioned, you need to analyze because for example, if you take robotics, you have to do some explanation. For example, if you want to curate some robot within a 3 or 4 years of time, will you able to build a robot? That is it possible? No. So it is possible when you have all the facilities over it. So you have to think practically as well. So at a stipulated period of time, how many modules that we can curate and what is the future perspective? In that way, you need to conduct a preliminary research and what is the gap prevailed. Next one, you need to define, because for example there are many issues is prevailed in the particular domain. You have to analyze whether we can able to solve the problem, whether we can contribute to that field efficiently. And next one, as I have mentioned, that practicality. You need to verify whether the budget has been enough for us to do this, and whether the proper timeline, everything matters in a research. That too, you people are doing PhD or something else, it is highly essential. According to me, it is highly essential. Timeline is also essential. We can't extend our research more than 6 to 7 years, which is not possible and which is not needed at this point of time, because research is a lifelong time. So when we have a particular constraint, we need to We need to focus on that aspect well. And next one, we need to consider always, but rather than going for simulation, real time project is very much useful, because whatever anyway we are going to do research, why can't we do the research for helping the society or helping any academic challenges? In that way your research has to be. And next one, if you as a researcher, if you're new researcher, beginner researcher, you can seek the help from the expert members or your mentors, your guides and colleagues for a beginning understanding of the thing. Next one, narrow down the focus, very very important. Some people will tell we can have two issues to three issues, no, which is very much vague. You can't, because in that one issue itself you will be having many more complexities which can be addressed in only three modules. We can't dump it in one module and we cannot suffocate ourselves. So that is also very much to be considered. And next, whether whatever we are choosing, you have to analyze whether the future scope is there, whether the future scope will help us do. If you take artificial intelligence, we are very much aware that it will sustain for the next 5 to 6 years and above. So in that way, you need to choose it. Next one is original. It is always appreciable when you have the novelty in your work. And we have to test our idea, just whether like formulating the research questions, or these are all the basic things that we can do to choose a good topic. Now I will tell you the comparison of good title and bad title, how you have to keep it in the research article once everything is fixed. What we have to do, first of all, let us see about the good title and bad title. Here I have chosen the case study. So in this paper, I will tell you, in this paper I have chosen the case study based on agriculture. That is why my example content will be morely relied on agriculture. According to your work, you can simulate it like parallel, you can do it. First of all, see, AI based hybrid model for predicting oil seed crop yields under climate variability. So what I have given AI. So I have deliberately given, I am going to use an AI based algorithm or AI based technology. In that, I have given hybrid model. Oh, so I have given the surprise. What is it? What to say? I have not deliberately named the model, but I have said it's a hybrid model. So it is a combination of two or more algorithm as been there. Next, for predicting oil seed crops. So there are variety of crops. I have clearly mentioned oil seed crop yield under climate variability. So based on the weather parameters, climatic parameters, I'm going to do the project. See this title, how efficiently I have given all the form. So whenever the user read this article, the curiosity is created here, where the hybrid model. So where I'm going to pull the article. So rather than omitting my paper, the author will now go into the paper and he will say what kind of hybrid algorithm that I have used. This is one part. Next, bad title, why I'm saying AI and agriculture. When you keep many people, when we are reviewing, as I'm a reviewer, in many journals, they used to send paper. Some people used to write the article as just a simple vague article has been kept. See, AI and agriculture, AI is one vast ground, agriculture is another vast ground. In agriculture we have several issues. In the several issues, I'm going to take only one issue that is possible. But if I'm giving agriculture na, which is dump, which is not efficient. And so whenever you're defining the title, it has to be, you have to narrow down the title, no two vague concepts, everything. So for writing this, so or to avoid manual intervention, like manually to avoid manual work, I have gone through an AI tool. Many AI tools are there, but I have gone through a tool called Writeful. So, when you log in the Writeful, there is a tool called a tool called a Writeful. What is that Writeful will do is, it is like a title generator. In the left hand side, you can able to see title generator. When you paste your abstract here of your abstract efficiently here, and if when you press generate title, I'm sorry, actually I have to log in. Yeah, it is giving you forecasting yield using second and third degree regression. So this is one kind of title that I have received. So based on the content provided in the abstract, the title has been generated by the rightful tool. So you don't need to put efforts nowadays, as the tool itself is helping you to simulate all these issues. Hope you're clear with it. Am I right? Am I clear with this concept? How to generate the topic?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next one, how to write the abstract section. Okay, so here, guys, due to the time constraint, I couldn't able to tell you how to log in all these things, as it is a basic thing. When you go for write full, because I have given all the links over here. So when you click it, you can able to toggle there. Okay, that is why I really wanted to tell you how the part works. And next one is like abstract section. What is that abstract section deals with and how? All of you, I really wanted you to see the picture of the image which I have pasted. See, let us assume we are going to compare the abstract section with the two things, coffee and the thing. I'll tell you how. First of all, your abstract session is like just like a coffee lovers can't resist the good aroma, right? Good smell. So likewise, the readers won't resist the title that should give the promising value and innovation, right? Similarly, your title, your research title is like aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Similarly, you need to track them with your catchy titles. So this is how you need to set the stage. Next one is beans. Beans is like nothing but how to choose the problem statement efficiently. Choosing the problem statement efficiently is one of the key thing. First of all, here in that just remember, the quality of the coffee depends upon what kind of coffee bean we are using. So that is like that is how your research depends on how well you define the problem statement. So the second point that you need to write in the abstract is choosing your research problem efficiently. Next thing is like brewing. So brewing is like the third point that you need to write about. The brewing is like thinking of let us assume you need to choose the right brewing method. Right brewing method is like what kind of coffee you need to add up, whether it is espresso, whether it is French pour or pour over, anything. There are many kind of coffee, right, to extract the best flavor. Similarly, your methods should always align with your research goals. So for example, when you see the example over here, first of all, it needs to briefly describe what is the aim to achieve and how you have to plan it. Here I have given, as I have said, I have taken the example of agriculture. We blend weather data, we blend coffee, sorry, so I am sorry, we blend the soil conditions and AI techniques together to create a hybrid model. So that kind of justification should be done as a third point. Next one, fourth. The fourth one is like the sip. The first it will actually, once the coffee is ready, what we will do, we will take a sip, sip of the coffee, right? That will tell you whether the coffee is correct, perfectly blend or not. Similarly, our results should show how well the research that we have performed. For example, our model reduces the error rate by 30%, which helps the farmers make better decision. So in that way, your uh, rate a result has to be showcased. And then aftertaste is nothing but how you are bringing back the same coffee lovers to your shop next time. Like similarly, a meaningful conclusion needs to be there. Always whenever you are doing the conclusion, it has to have a proper closure. So here, this AI empowers the farmers to combat food insecurity and adapt the climatic changes. So this is what the concept of the abstract you have to write. Let me tell you the practicality. So this is how the abstract session should relies on. First of all, the first point, there are only 5 points to be written in the conclusion. Let me tell you. Why did you take the research study and what is the motivation and how that research create the impact to the society? 1 to 2 lines should be written there, followed by problem statement. What kind of research gap prevailed there? So that has to be done always. When you see about the research gap, it always starts with the word however. So that we need to write 1 to 2 lines, followed by the objective. So objective is like how you overcome that research gap, what are the techniques that you are doing to overcome that research gap, has to be mentioned 1 to 2 lines. Next, followed by the methodology, overview of the process, what kind of technique you use, what are all the new novelty part that you are adding. And results and discussion showcase what is the key findings, what is the accuracy that you have obtained with the existing works, and what is the conclusion, the broader implication of the study. That means how it is adding value. In that part, many researchers would fail while they used to over exaggerate the advantages, like my system can able to do all this. So once the researchers can able to do, they can decide whether it is highly useful algorithm or not. So you don't need to over exaggerate, just leave it simple. Yeah, my accurate it's like overwhelmed, I mean you just mention I have acquired this much accuracy when compared to the other algorithms, make it overperformed. In that way you just simply note it down. So for writing the abstract, this is the manual steps that you need to follow, and this is more of a prompt that you can use it in the A tool to get a proper flow. So it is always advisable that you can write it and you can have a grammatical conclusion for with the help of AI. But now I'm going to give you a same one shortcut where you can same rightful tool can be chosen, and here you can you can click the same rightful tool.com. In that you can choose in the left hand side you have title generator, after you have abstract generator. So in the abstract generator you can paste the content. I have taken some sample paper. So from introduction, let me paste a few content over here. Just for your understanding, I'm just okay. Okay. I'm pasting the content. Generate abstract. So based on, so till conclusion we need to paste. So just for a sample, I'm telling you. So based on your paper content, it will give you the proper abstract. So there is no need for you to generate manually. The AI tool will itself will help you generate all these content. Hope you're clear with the abstract generator. I have used several tools, but Rightful is the one which gives, which retains the meaning of the paper. So that is why I have suggested. And nowadays we come across another graphical abstract generator. So for graphical abstract generate, nowadays we are coming into the rather than textual, we are also using the graphical abstractor, and that is called a tidbit app. Okay, there is an AI called a tidbit where we can, the tool called a tidbit, where we can manually approach. For example, we have several. Let me showcase you. There are you can create a dashboard. There is a when you log in you will find a dashboard like this. So in this you can write published. Let us, because for the sample I have to do, for your sake you can apply journal submissions. Just for your understanding I'm giving you this. Click the published article over here. So it is taking some time. uh, in submission we have, let us assume you have various templates over here. Let me give you here. So based on the paper pasted, it will auto create you. Based on the paper, it will auto create the visual abstract. So this is called as visual abstract. You can better, if you want, you can paste it in the, nowadays we can able to see the visual abstract also. So that is why I can use, if you want, you can use it in the PPT and you can paste it in the research article. So automatically you can edit, all these things can be done here. Okay. So you can explore this tidbit app, which will be more helpful to you. Next one is like keyword selection. So keyword selection is nothing but we need to identify and choose the app based on the like 5 to 7 keyword is always necessary, but 5 is the default thing that we will be choosing. How to choose the, for example, that I have chosen AI based hybrid model for predicting oilseed crop yield under climate variability. So in this, I have chosen the best thing as chat GPT. So how to give the prompt? I'm pasting the abstract of my research article entitled the title. So I know you're a very smart machine in generating the 5 keywords professionally. So always it is mandatory that whenever you are giving a prompt to the machine, you need to little bit uh, what to say? Yeah, I have given one thing wrong here, not the abstract title. Yeah. So why I have given that, I'm just making the machine tell very smart now. It will give you very good prompts. So that is what the recent research said. We need to tell the machine that it is an expert machine. You need to say some good things about the machine so that it will give you the proper, even more proper, accurate results. And next one, so this is how for this ChatGPT itself is giving you nice keyword generation. And next is like introduction. How to write the introduction efficiently. First of all, when writing the introduction, it is very much needed. First of all, you need to begin with the broad statement. That is, the opening context has to be like the relevant observation that you have done for the study. That 2 to 3 lines. For example, if it is agriculture, I need to give the statistics about the world, then about India, then about the Tamil Nadu. So that kind of variation has to be, that kind of background information is highly a necessity. So as I have mentioned, so we need to summarize the relevant historical research and followed by literature review overview. That is how to. So these are all the prompts. Why I have written is, see, it is very much easy that there are several AI tools. As for the demo, I'm just giving you 2 to 3. I have the list of demo which I can showcase. Entire thing cannot be summarized here due to time constraint. So we will be having a literature review overview, and then once the background information has been done, we need to progress. What is the 2 to 3 points has to be mentioned, or a concise existing study has to be mentioned, highlighting what is the key trend, what is the research gap revealed. All these things has to be demonstrated. Next paragraph, you need to mention clearly about the problem or the issue that your research going to address, and identify what is the research gap missed by the previous researcher. That has also been noted in the introduction. And followed by the objective of the research, you need to state the primary aim of your research, and how you're going to highlight the potential impact of your study, and what is the paper is like. We need to provide a brief outline of the sections, and have to give the final point is very much important. You need to provide a proper roadmap in the sense, your the section 2.2 clearly defines the review of literature, and section 3 will follow the proposed measure, that section, because many authors may not like all the paper to be like all the sections to be read. They want the proposed methodology to be focused on. So you can give the roadmap for that people to just focus on. So for this, we have two tools, ChatGPT or Perplexity. Based on these above prompts, you can curate your work. Okay. So these are all the structures that you need to follow. Next comes the literature review section. One of the people's researchers headache session is literature review session, because they feel bored about collecting all the papers, everything. For that, I have a very good tool where it will sort all your issue. So let me tell you what is the flow of writing that you have to do. First of all, you need to clearly state why we are conducting the review. Followed by, we need to give the proper relevant research articles. So you need to select the peer-reviewed papers, what is the articles, and what is the books to be followed. And we need to focus on what is the recent studies also about. And once done, we need to organize the literature either by thematic representation or chronological way. or else you can organize your discussion based on, as I have mentioned, thematical, like each algorithm based or anything. And next one, summarize the key finding, which is very much important. So based on the above existing work, many people fail to mention. So based on the above existing work, what you're trying to convey, that part is very much needed. And next one, what kind of comparison table. In many review articles, you might say the comparison table, that is very much easy, like visually appealing. So based on that, instead of reading each and every line, that arguments, what is the algorithm they have used, all these things will help you. The researchers stay in your paper. And we need to identify the research gap. I'm telling a research gap, research gap. I really wanted to tell you what that research gap means. See, what is the previous researcher failed to do, because they cannot satisfy all the constraints. For example, if it is a crop yield prediction, the researchers might miss a few parts. That part limitation has to be identified by you, and you need to showcase that. And next one is like provide a theoretical framework. So we need to include theories or models that underpin the literature, and mainly you need to show the existing work. And proper citation is very much needed in literature review, and we need to conclude by pointing out what is the research trying to say, what is the challenge they face. So for this, we are going to use a tool called SciSpace. Yeah, this is the tool. So once you log in, you will have a page like this where you can give the prompt. Sorry, in the search tool, you can give crop yield prediction. So in the when you type the word as when you type the keyword as crop yield prediction, you will have so much of like 100 papers will be there. And if you ask for PDF, it will give you. So the PDF papers will also be, but it is in a few thing. It is high. Deep review will be like payable, and in the standard and high quality. So this is the front page that, for example, I'll give you crop yield prediction. So you don't need high quality, like standard journals is enough. So in the standard format itself, it will help you fetch all the information. So now all the papers according to the crop yield will be flooded over here. And we have in the right side, you can able to see few columns, like what is the summarized abstract. It will tell you. So based on this paper, it will tell you this is what the paper is trying to tell, and what is the methods used. That is one column that you can add over here for this paper. So these are all the ways that you can include. And next one, what is the conclusion, what kind of accuracy they have got. So everything can be done with the help of AI tool. There is no need of manual intervention over here. And research gap also can be summarized over here. But only one thing, one constraint is, if it is a payable version, you can look out all the things in a single go. But here, if I trying to add the future result, which is not possible, as it is a payable, only 5 columns can be added. If you want to remove one column, and if you want to really know about the contribution, you can add it. Only 5 columns can be paid in the non-payable version. So this is how your literature review part can be easily sorted. And next part is like methodology section. So how the methodology section should be written efficiently. First of all, the structure has to be, whenever you're writing the proposed methodology, all this, it is mandatory. You need to speak about what kind of data you are using when in terms of engineering, whether it is arts, humanities, or any other journal. You have to speak about what kind of aspect you're trying to go through. All these effects has to be written in short. First of all, we have to be very clear and concise. You should not write in research papers too many stories, because people are not ready to read all the contents. If it is the content is too good or too novel, they can able to read. But it is always crisp content is very much appreciated. And next one, we have to start the research design, that is qualitative, or whether you need to tell quantitative or mixed type. So for example, in this I have mentioned this study employed a quantitative approach. Yeah, they have mentioned the numeric type, that is, it is quantitative, by using surveys to gather from 200 participants. So they have also given the 200, that is 200 participant data has been collected over 2 months. The period is also given. So in this way, your research design has to be clearly mentioned. And next, always when you're making engage the readers with purpose, which means we need to explain the specific method that adds purpose to the methodology without randomly writing all these stuffs. We need to mention what kind of machine learning algorithms has been incorporated and to uncover all these patterns in the large data set. Next, we need to use a simple English language because all the readers are not well versed in uh, in a very complex term like GRI terms. They are not. We are not. We are not so much involved in the complex terms. We have to be. We have to avoid unnecessary jargons. For example, some people used to write in a. They thought writing with a complex words can increase the quality of the paper. No, nothing. When you have the ability to make the reader stay your paper for the from the entire content, then you are the winner. So in that way you have to give the proper explanation. The findings underscore the necessity for further empirical exploration. So it feels little heavy. So the simplified version that we can render, the result shows that more testing is needed. So this statement and this statement is same, but I wanted you to write the same. This statement is very simple that everyone can understand the same content. So I wanted you to show the difference. And next, once everything is done, we need to showcase what are all the steps involved in a step by step manner. So these are all according to your content you can write. And next, highlight the innovation, which is very much important. If the algorithm is new or novel, you have to mention or highlight it briefly. So unique feature of this study is the integration of three things: IoT sensor, which help us to collect real time and providing more accurate results. So in this way, simple, with minimal lines you need to approach it, and a brief conclusion is also needed. So this is how your methodology section. So in the methodology section, no tool has to be used because as it is completely that is the only novel part. We cannot write the methodology section. We can grammatically correct or rephrase by many tools like Grammarly, which I have pasted over last. So that is why I haven't given. These are all the way. These are all the steps. So I have given more theoretical content in the introduction and methodology. Why so? These are all the prompts, and in this order only you need to write the paper. And next one is the results and presentation. So the results and presentation should be disclosed in the visualized manner. For that, a proper graph, bar graph for accuracy, all these things has to be summarized. And the key highlight here is side by side comparison of existing and the proposed work table has to be done in the uh, results and discussion has to be pasted. And next, when it comes to discussion, so what is that discussion? Always in the results and discussion, you can portray your results and you can summarize all the things. But in the discussion section, it is mandatory that you need to compare your proposed work with the existing work. That is what these are all the steps that you need to write in the discussion forum. We need to summarize the main findings. That is what are all the key results and the significance and what parameters help you achieve that accuracy, and what or how to highlight the findings of the findings to the field or real world applications. Mention any limitations that if you could able to see from the paper, or you have to acknowledge this. In this part, you cannot satisfy every content over there. So in the discussion part, you can gently mention. So this part can be the data can be you can take you thought that your data should have even be more. So that content should also be written gently over there. And what is the idea for future proposal, like what we can do, and that, and a concluding remark should also be gently marked in the discussion section. And in the conclusion, as I have said, introduction and conclusion should rely with one another. We need to restate the entire main object, that is your main objective or problem. What is your research aim to solve, and we need to highlight the major results or conclusion. And in the conclusion, it is one para or maximum two para is acceptable, not more than that. And in the discussion, you have to clearly mention the broader significance of the findings has to be highlighted, and what you have to contribute, how your contribution help solve that problem. For example, any recommendation system that you have curated, all can be mentioned over there, and you can mention the limitations, all these things. And whenever we are doing the conclusion, it should have the proper closure. And in the reference section, we need to properly, we can use one the Mendeley software. You have to pin that Mendeley software. There is a tool called Mendeley where it will automatically cite and give references. And it is always responsible that you have to choose the proper style, and you need to list all the referenced articles, that books, articles website. That is no manual writing in the references needed. You can pin the Mendeley software in MS Word automatically, and you can upload your papers there, and it will auto, when you click it, it will automatically, when you click that paper in that particular position, it will automatically do. Okay. Next comes the publication phase. So what is the publication? So as of now, we have given the proper content about how to write, how to do the writing phase. Now comes the publication. So in the publication phase, we will be mainly having few checklists to be considered. First of all, whether the title and clear title and abstract has to be done. Formatting can be done by a software called a typeset, where you can give your paper. It will auto tune your paper by so whichever journal you want, when you type it there, it will auto format and give you. And next one, if you want to check the plagiarism, always your content has to be plagiarism free. What is plagiarism? You have copied down the others content and not given credit. So the plagiarism is divided into two types now. One is similarity plagiarism and another one is a plagiarism. What is that similarity plagiarism? Now, when you haven't, if you fail to cite the other content, other people's work, then it will be considered as similarity plagiarism. But AA plagiarism is nothing but when you copy down the entire content as it is from the AA tools. By using AA tools, you will get the AA plagiarism. So in nowadays, every journal is asking for both AA and similarity plag. So the Turnitin software, you have to check it in the Turnitin instructor view. So that is where you can find all this information. And you whenever you are doing the checklist, you need to ensure proper figure and table has been given, and all these figures and tables has been clearly mentioned, 1 to 2 lines in any of your paper. And before having submitted your paper, it is always an ethical thing that you need to have a word with your co-authors. Next, how to avoid plagiarism. This is one of the key point that everyone will be asking. See, plagiarism, to avoid plagiarism, first let me tell you. The original citation has to be given. Prompt citation has to be given to avoid one plagiarism. Similarity plan. For example, climate change is accelerating due to greenhouse gas emission. So climate change is accelerating. Or you can give that and you have to give proper citation. This is one way of reduction. Second, we can paraphrase the content. That is one such way we can reduce the plagiarism. And by using some quotation, we can reduce the plagiarism. And next tool is like we can see the we can report. Based on the report also, you can change the thing. So according to us, these are all one such basic way. But how we can reduce the plagiarism as a researcher's point of view is, as of now, there is a tool called stealth.ai. And there is a tool called stealth.ai, which helps you reduce the plagiarism content. stealth.ai. But I can't guarantee you that will give solely help you reduce it. But it is performing good as of now. As of April 2026, it is giving you nice. It can able to crack the plagiarism. But I'm not telling you it is the only option that you can. You can paraphrase the like for example, if you are paraphrasing your content, you need to read 2 times, you need to paraphrase it. That is where another one trick that you can reduce the plagiarism. But when doing that paraphrased reparaphrasing, what happens is your content, there is a many 90% chance it may get you have like there is a possibility of rechanging the meaning of that content. So to avoid that, you need to check manually, like whether the a particular software, for example Quillbot, is trying to retain the meaning, and it is trying to hold the the content, because for example each word have different context over context meaning, so that has to be written, that has to be checked by you. Okay. And one more thing, it is good always originality. According to me, if it is not worse, you have to acknowledge it. Proper citation has to be given. Okay, so this is a checklist that we have seen. So, what are all the common mistakes that we used to see in writing research article is, first of all, once the researcher has written the paper, automatically they'll send it to journal, which is not the proper thing. Next one, you need to provide an unclear, that is missing summary of the findings. So, in the conclusion, you fail to give a proper summary. That is also one of the things that many researchers used to do. And poor structure, as we are also know, weak literature review, that can be nowadays, that can be avoided by means of all the things. And excessive jargon, as I have mentioned, instead of cloud computing, they may simply, we can use online services. Don't complex the sentences too much. Improper citation and detailed description about all these things. And for proofreading, you can pin your Grammarly software in the MS Word itself. There's a possibility you can pin it in the so where there is no need, or it will auto correct it, right? So you can pin it and you can have your language correct. So now this is one part. So till that we'll finish it off. Okay, how to choose the right journal? So there are many ways that we can choose the right journal according to your content. Many people have doubt how we can choose it efficiently. On that note, I will tell you there is an point called Elsevier Journal Finder. Okay, in the Elsevier Journal Finder, you go to the website Journal Finder. I have already pasted the content. Match you my abstract. So you just paste the abstract. So whatever journal suits you will be recommended by the system itself. Okay. Computers major program in biomedical mineral engineering. So based on the content that I have pasted, it provides me the suggestions, and you can even search it through keyword as well. Okay. Anything is possible here. So based on which you can refer the journal, which journal will help you. And if you want to really know what kind of quartile it belongs to, you can go for SJR journal ranking. That is SciMango journal ranking. I have chosen scientific reports as my article. So it will tell you whether it is Q1, Q2. It is an official site. And you will be getting the nature research, all these things is clearly described here about the journal. So based on this journal, you can identify whether it is good or fake. And to increase the visibility of your paper, first of all, when you choose the right journal, half of your problem get resolved, because all those research visibility will be given by the journal itself. Next, we need to use the keyword smartly. That is very much important to grab the audience. And you can post your content in LinkedIn, technical websites, and we can present a conference. We can collaborate the papers of your researcher's paper with globally as well, and we can share the preprints, engage in citation, and we can post it in the engines, like we can publish it in the engines. All these things can be done to increase your thing. So now I'm into the AI tools. There are very much many AI tools has been scrutinized based on my experience that I have curated the documents to you. First, for finding the literature review, you can use Research Rabbit, Litmips, SciSpace, everything. For understanding about the literature, for paper finding, you can use this reference. For understanding the literatures, that you can go for SciSpace, Copilot, Perplexity, Enogo, Chat PDF, everything. And next, for research gap identification, same SciSpace, Consensus, and title generation, Rightful, EditPad, even Spinbot will work good. And crafting the graphical abstracted bit, as I have mentioned, and Deep Dream Generator, that is also fine. Writing first draft or outline of the paper, if you want to just wanted some assistance for drafting the outlining, Jenny, Paperpal, everything is used. For data visualizing, graph generation, you can use Visme and Tableau. And for language or grammar check, you can use Grammarly, Paperpal, everything. For submission, and for journal finder, journal suggestor, for even research promotion, to promote your research article, you can go for Kudos AI. And paper review process, for the first process to be reviewed by you. You want to really know about your paper, that you can go for Turnitin Feedback Studio. Data collection, you can go for collection, for collecting research article, all these things, Kaggle website. For data analysis, you can go for States Blue, which when you upload your data set, it will automatically give you all the, instead of coding, it will give you everything. For research idea, so for some people may not be aware of what kind of research idea to go through. For that also we have researcher.ai ideas and plagiarism check, Turnitin, QSET, Grammarly, and for reference management, Zotero, Menly, EndNote will be there. For proofreading, we have SlickWrite. That will be very good. And statistical analysis, SPSS, that is statistical package for social science, everything. R Studio, survey creation, survey will be useful. So these are all the ways that for granting also I have given you. For grant research funding or grant forward or research gate funding, so these are all the things that according to me the researcher needs. So I have hope I have given all the research articles, research ideas. So this is about all our research paper. Hope you learn few things about my workshop, and if you have any queries you can let me ask. If you have any queries you can throw it. Yeah. Do you have any queries with you?
Hello, ma'am. This is Hemalata, Dr. Hemalata.
Mhm.
Actually, the workshop is very informative. So, as you mentioned, if we use different AI tools for different section of our research article,
Mm-mm.
it is flagged as a AI generated content, right? During
Yeah.
the time of processing our paper for any conferences.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
So, should we need to paraphrase each and every section of our, the journals to avoid this, or is there any, how we can address this, ma'am?
Yeah, that is what, ma'am. As these are all the these are all the tools that help you achieve
Okay.
your work, but we cannot rely everything totally upon this. Based on this, you can get the idea, you can paraphrase the word, and you can
Okay.
use that ideas. So, as I
Okay.
have mentioned, there are several because as we are dealing with, we are having plagiarism now. So
Mm-hmm.
we can gain the help from the AI, but we
Yeah.
cannot completely rely on AI. Your question is very much actually it is truth, but
Yeah.
what I can say is we can paraphrase it and we can
Mhm.
that is what I said. Paraphrase will not help you. Re-paraphrase will help you. Okay.
Okay, okay.
That
Because I
would
tried with Justin, I think it's one of the tool. I tried
yeah.
for my last publication. I have presented a paper with TSM.
Okay.
So while I was checking these, the final processing of this plagiarism and AI
Uh,
generator, in
uh,
Turnitin it was fine. It was like only 5% of plagiarism was showing. But
okay.
if we come for AI generator, it is like
Yeah.
also 7 to 8%. But if but if we check in some other website,
Uh, uh, uh.
the result is different. So we are completely confused.
Yeah. The point here to be noted is, ma'am, Turnitin is considered as like officially they are like their
Mhm.
content has to be like academicians and journal teams are mainly
Mhm.
focused on Turnitin report. Why so
Okay.
is in the instructor similarity plaque can be even you can sort it easily.
Mhm.
Whereas A plaque is very much difficult nowadays to
Yes,
resolve.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it can be viewed only through instructor view.
Yeah, you're right. Mm.
Because you cannot know, you'll not be knowing where the A plaque. Only in the
Mm.
instructor view, only in
Mhm.
few options. Like when you subscribe the instructor view, you can able to check where your plagiarism mostly relies on. That content
Okay.
has been given. So in
Okay.
that you have to take that report and you need
Mhm.
to sort it off. So that is why I said reparaphrasing and these things will help you, because when you copy paste one content directly over there,
Yes, yes.
it is like it is not our work, right? It
Yeah,
is
you're right.
that is
Mm.
what we can
Mhm.
definitely use it, but we cannot completely rely on it. So that is
Certainly.
why when
Mm.
you can try stealth.ai. As of now, from our
Certainly. Okay.
experience, as per this
Okay.
month, that is little bit helping us.
Sure,
Yeah,
ma'am. Sure.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Any questions from the audience?
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon. This is
Ah,
Dr. Mohan Raj.
hello, sir. Nice to
Yes,
meet
ma'am. Dr. Mohan Raj here, and actually, I am very excited to share my feedback as part of SRM group of institutions. I am
Oh,
working as an assistant professor in early engineering college.
oh, super.
So I am here, ma'am. So really, it was your presentation was so insightful and very helpful for us, madam. Maybe we are also going to share our, our fellow colleagues and as well as to our students
Yeah,
when you are going to teach us. So how
yeah,
you are going to use for this, the AI platform. So now
yeah,
Dr. Hema madam also has raised the questions, and that also it is very cleared, really.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And yeah,
Uh,
I thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your insightful and session on the writing articles for Scopus Industry Journal. Your
yeah.
explanations of the publication process was very structured and easy to follow for us in the future.
Uh, Thank you,
I
sir. Means
particularly
a lot.
found, yes, ma'am. I particularly found that the tips on selecting the right journal and framing the research gap and handling
Yeah,
reviewer comments and very practical, man. These
yeah,
sessions and gave me not only for me, it also for all the attendees today to
yeah,
make us
yeah.
to very clarity and the confidence to start our own manuscript. Really,
Yeah,
I'm very grateful to appreciate your time and effort in simplifying such an important topic today. And
yeah. Thank
finally, I also extend my sincere and gratitude to the LKB Academy, that founder Dr. Sadish Kumar, and also
you.
for the entire team, like a project manager and Monica ma'am. She is always,
Yeah,
to continuous
yeah, yeah,
follow
yeah.
up to all the members, organizing such a wonderful event. So definitely,
Yeah.
ma'am. And thank you so much, Dr. Mithra, ma'am, once again for your, the grateful and insightful information and regarding for AI platform for research work in the future. And we
Yeah,
also to invite you too for these upcoming events in the future. Let me contact you later. Thank you so much, ma'am.
yeah,
And for
yeah.
all the
Thank
participants
you.
and all the LKB Academy groups of institutions. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you, sir. I really feel very great that you have taken a few minutes of your time today to appreciate me and my work. Thank you. I really wanted to collaborate our research work. As you have mentioned that we belong to our same institute. I'm very
Our group,
much,
yes, ma'am. I
yeah,
was so excited
yeah,
when I saw yesterday that the flyer, oh, madam is
okay.
coming, belongs to our institution. Definitely,
Institution.
I have to
Yeah,
attend this program without
yeah,
missing like that. I
yeah,
allotted for the time. Really, it was very useful, ma'am. Really, absolutely. I'm
yeah,
grateful and appreciate you, ma'am. Definitely.
yeah.
And we also
Thank you.
incorporate to our students. And maybe for the next week, I'm also going to utilize for the students also for this
Yeah,
message.
yeah,
Definitely.
surely, sir. We will collaborate and we'll work. I'll
Definitely,
definitely
ma'am.
have a note.
Definitely, ma'am. So may
Yeah,
God bless everybody. Thank you very much.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Nice
Welcome.
meeting. Yeah, thank you, Hema ma'am, and the rest of the participants for giving me feedback regarding
Thank
my
you.
work. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And I would really wanted to thank LKP Academy for this wonderful opportunity to share my insights to all the attendees. And thank you, audience, for such a patience listening. Thank you, team. Yeah, Monica, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for that highly informative and insightful session. Our guidance on research, writing, publication strategies, and the uses of AI tools has been truly valuable for all of us, ma'am. Dear participant, we hope this session has enhanced our understanding and will support your future research and publication journey. Thank you, Mitra, ma'am, for your time and valuable insights. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.